Good afternoon, fellow Barnard alumni. I am Bonnie Fox Sirower, class of 70, and I am thrilled to have been selected to receive one of 3 of this year's awards for outstanding service to Barnard. I especially want to thank my co-class agent, Myrna Fawcett, for nominating me for this honor. Since day one as a student at Barnard, it was a haven for me. I remember the very first day I attended the college as a commuter. I called my father to say, "Dad, I'm home. Everyone here loves to study and loves to read." I always felt that the faculty and staff at Barnard cared for me personally. My advisor through most of my college career was Christine Royer, and I had the privilege of having Miss Royer, though she wanted us to call her Christine once we were adults, as my friend and mentor through most of my life until she passed away. Christine was our link to the college for many of my fellow alumni in the class of 70. During the unrest of 1968, when everything seemed to be blowing up across the street at Columbia, Barnard continued to be a haven for us. We still had our classes on the lawn, and we could talk to our professors at any time. At one point, with the help of my anthropology professor, Dr. Morton Class, I put together a candlelight demonstration in support of our protesting brethren across the street that stretched from Millbank on Broadway and 120th Street all the way down to 116th Street, back around to Claremont, and back to Broadway and 120th 3 times. I was a special education teacher for 6 years after graduation from Teachers College. When I decided to return to work when my elder son turned 3, I looked to the Barnard Office of Career Services to help me determine the next phase of my career. That department looked at my outside-of-the-home volunteer activities, such as serving as my synagogue sisterhood president, then suggested I might make an excellent fundraiser. The same department even found my first fundraising job for me at the American Heart Association. I spent 36 years in the development field, serving 10 organizations as Director of Special Events, Annual Fund Director, Grant Writer, Public Relations Director, and so on. My Barnard experiences as a class agent and class president served me especially well as the director of the annual funds at Union County College and Iona College. I was a psychology major, which helped me to look at potential donors and volunteers, so that what I was doing would also inspire them. But I would have to say that the course that probably benefited me most as a future fundraiser was the poise and posture class we were required to take in our freshman year. I remember one class where we learned how to behave at a cocktail party, how to shake hands, hold drinks, mix with others. Those skills were probably what I needed most as a development professional. But what I gleaned that was the most important at Barnard, from both my studies and my extracurricular activities, was how to aim for a goal, like planning the demonstration I described to you, and then break it down into steps that would allow me to achieve that goal. I remember being given a list of all the exam times for all the professors and the exam times for the students who had been honored to become members of the Board of Proctors. I remember that with the help of my classmates in my suite at 616, we created a rudimentary spreadsheet long before Excel became a thing. Et voila! We were able to cover all the professors' exams, while our student proctors were able to take their own finals. Knowing how to look at the big picture, then prioritizing all the steps that would be needed to achieve the chosen goal was a huge part of my entire life, including both volunteer activities and my career. I learned at Barnard how to organize goals, put on plays, organize galas, start parties, and ultimately, in my career, I was able to found Spectrum for Living, one of the largest groups in New Jersey providing residential services to adults with disabilities, and the New Jersey Crossword League. The ability to break down what might seem impossible to others served me throughout my life. And after Hurricane Sandy, I knew I could put together a campaign through our local Rotary district that would both raise funds and rebuild our communities. Ultimately, we raised $740,000, rebuilt 3 firehouses and a senior citizen center, and helped hundreds of people to get back into their homes. The ability to break down goals into small steps still serves me well, even now as a teacher of yoga, tai chi, and water fitness. I didn't get involved in serving Barnard until we were planning our 10th reunion. When I was a student, I mostly knew commuters I met in the annex, in the James room where we were eating yogurt or salad, in my classes, or at the Gilbert and Sullivan Society. I hardly knew anyone who lived in the dorms. But now, having served as class correspondent, class president, and class fund chair, now called class agent, I count nearly 3/4 of my class as good friends. I really look forward to making the solicitation phone calls each year and briefly uniting with these friends. Don Williams on the Barnard development staff tells me I have to continue serving as class agent even after I've passed away. So I guess I will use whatever cloud there is in heaven to continue to stay in touch with my classmates. When I return to Barnard each year for Phonathon or Leadership Assembly, I totally enjoy talking to the current students about their experiences. My advice to both students and alumni would be value every part of your Barnard education, not just your classroom learning. Look at the entirety of your Barnard experience and what you've gleaned from your life, and put your ability to think, to plan, and to dream into action. Thank you again for this great honor.